There is absolutely massive news shaking the very foundation of our national security and international relations today. And if you have been praying for a shift in the tide regarding the security situation in Nigeria, then what is happening right now in Abuja is the answer you have been waiting to hear. Because the United States Army is effectively stepping in to protect Nigeria in a way we have never seen before. The headline you saw is not clickbait, it is the reality on the ground as a high-powered delegation from the White House has landed in the Federal Capital Territory with a mandate that is as heavy as it is urgent. We are talking about the arrival of Allison Hooker, the United States Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs, who touched down in Abuja just a few days ago to seal a deal that changes everything about how we fight insurgency, banditry, and terrorism in this country. This is not just another diplomatic handshake or a tea party at the Aso Rock Villa. This is the inauguration of a full-scale security partnership where the U.S. Army is bringing its might, its intelligence, and its logistics to back the Nigerian military and finally put an end to the crisis that has plagued our nation for over a decade. You need to understand the magnitude of who Allison Hooker is to grasp why this visit is shaking tables in the best way possible. She is a top-ranking official from the Trump administration. Yes, President Donald Trump is back in the White House in this timeline we are witnessing in 2026, and her presence here signals that Nigeria has become a top priority for U.S. foreign policy. She arrived specifically to lead the U.S.-Nigeria Joint Working Group on Security, a body that was hurriedly put together because Washington has decided that enough is enough. The background to this aggressive move is actually quite dramatic because it follows a series of kinetic military actions that the U.S. already took on our soil late last year. If you remember, on Christmas Day, December 25, 2025, while many of us were eating rice and chicken, the U.S. military conducted precision missile strikes against ISIS and Boko Haram targets in Sokoto State and the Sambisa Forest. That operation was a wake-up call to the terrorists that the rules of engagement have changed, and Allison Hooker's arrival now is to formalize that protection and ensure that the Nigerian military has everything it needs to finish the job. The atmosphere in Abuja has been electric since her plane landed because the deals being signed are not just on paper, they are being backed by heavy hardware that has already started arriving. Just a couple of weeks before Hooker's arrival, precisely on January 13, 2026, the U.S. Africa Command, popularly known as AFRICOM, physically delivered a massive consignment of critical military supplies to Abuja. We are not talking about blankets and first aid kits here. We are talking about high-tech surveillance gear, logistical support vehicles, and advanced ammunition meant to sustain our troops on the front lines for months. This delivery was confirmed by AFRICOM on their official channels, and it is the direct result of the frantic diplomatic shuttles that our own National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rigadu, made to Washington late last year. The U.S. has seen that Nigeria is ready to fight, and they are pouring in the resources to ensure we win. The specifics of the agreement that Allison Hooker is here to oversee include real-time intelligence sharing, which is the game changer we have desperately needed. Imagine our Air Force knowing exactly where the bandits are hiding in the forest of Zamfara State or Niger State the moment they gather. That is the kind of eyes-in-the-sky protection the U.S. Army is bringing to the table. But there is a very specific and somewhat controversial aspect to this protection that you need to know about, because it touches on the core reason why the U.S. is getting so involved right now. The mandate of this joint working group is explicitly to protect vulnerable communities with a strong emphasis on Christian populations in the Middle Belt and the North who have been the victims of relentless attacks. The U.S. administration under President Trump has been very vocal about protecting religious freedom, and they have designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern in the past. So this military support is their way of ensuring that these massacres stop immediately. Allison Hooker was very clear in her discussions with our foreign minister and the NSA that the United States will no longer stand by and watch innocent villagers get slaughtered. This is why they are not just sending guns, they are helping to set up community protection strategies and are pushing for the recruitment of 20,000 new police officers to specifically guard these flashpoints. It's a holistic approach that combines military force with police presence, and it shows that they are looking at the root causes of the insecurity, not just its symptoms. As we dive deeper into the details of this story, I want to take a quick second to remind you that if you are finding this breakdown helpful and you want to stay updated on how this U.S. military intervention unfolds in the coming weeks, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button right now. It really helps the video spread to more Nigerians who need to know what is happening. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you are the first to know when the next big update drops. We are tracking the story day by day and you don't want to miss the next development. Now, getting back to the gist, the economic implication of this security deal is massive because you cannot separate security from money. Allison Hooker did not just come with generals, she came with a promise of investment. The logic the Americans are using is that once the US Army helps to stabilize the country, American businesses will feel safe enough to pour billions of dollars into our economy. We are talking about potential investments in the energy sector, agriculture, and technology that have been held back because of the fear of kidnapping and instability. During her visit, which ran through late January, Allison Hooker also held closed-door meetings with key stakeholders to discuss the prosperous future of US-Nigeria relations. They are looking to expand the trade volume significantly, but they made it clear security comes first. The US Army's protection is effectively the insurance policy for these future investments. This is why you are seeing such a rapid deployment of assets. The Super Tucano jets that we bought from them years ago are now being fully integrated with US satellite data, making them 10 times more lethal. There are also reports that US Special Forces advisors will be on the ground not to fight the war for us, but to train and assist our boys in a way that makes them more effective. This is the kind of partnership that countries like South Korea and Japan have enjoyed for decades, and it looks like Nigeria is finally entering that inner circle of US allies. It's a bold move by the Tinubu administration to align this closely with Washington, and while some critics might talk about sovereignty, the average Nigerian on the street just wants to sleep with their two eyes closed. If it takes the US Army to guarantee that safety, then many people are saying, bring it on. The timeline of these events is very fast-paced, which tells you that there is a sense of urgency in the White House. From the airstrikes on Christmas Day 2025 to the supply delivery on January 13, 2026, and now the high-level visit of the Undersecretary of State in late January, it's a coordinated blitz. They are trying to break the back of the insurgency before the rainy season sets in later in the year, which usually makes military operations harder. The message being sent to the terrorists is loud and clear. You are no longer fighting the Nigerian army, you are fighting the combined weight of the Nigerian military backed by the full technological and logistical power of the United States. This is a turning point in our history. We have heard promises before, but we have never seen this level of direct boots-on-the-ground involvement in terms of logistics and command support. It's a developing story that brings a lot of hope, but also a lot of questions about what the US wants in return. For now, the priority is peace, and it seems help has finally landed.